Commander Zethkar stared at the report on his desk. His 4 eyes moved across the words again and again, but they still made no sense. The paper shook in his clawed hands as he read the same line for the 10th time. All units retreated when human female appeared on battlefield carrying unknown object. Zethkar had been fighting wars for 300 years. He had seen soldiers run from plasma cannons and death rays. He had watched brave warriors flee from giant war machines and terrible weapons. But he had never seen an entire army run away from one small human female. The door to his office opened with a soft hiss. Captain Vexton walked in, his purple skin looking pale and worried. He carried a stack of similar reports in his arms. "Sir," Vexton said, his voice quiet, "we have 47 more reports just like that one?" Zethkar felt his stomach drop. 47? Yes, sir. All from different battles across 12 star systems? Every single report says the same thing. A human woman walks onto the battlefield. She carries something small in her hands. Our soldiers. See her and immediately order a full retreat. Zethkar stood up from his chair. He was tall, even for his Elathi warrior. His armor clinked as he moved to the large window that looked out over the military base. Thousands of his soldiers moved about their daily training. These were the best fighters in the galaxy. They feared nothing. "This makes no sense," he said. "What could one human female possibly carry that would make our warriors run?" Vexton placed the reports on the desk. "Sir, I think you should hear what Sergeant Kolvex has to say. He was there during the Kepler Station battle." Zethkar turned around. "Bring him in." A few minutes later, Sergeant Kolvex entered the office. The veteran soldier looked terrible. His usually bright green skin was dull and gray. His hands shook slightly as he stood at attention. Dark circles surrounded all 4 of his eyes. "At ease, Sergeant," Zethkar said. "Tell me what you saw at Kepler Station." Kolvex took a deep breath. "Sir, we had the humans surrounded. 10,000 of our best warriors against maybe 500 human defenders. The battle was almost over. We were about to claim victory. And then she appeared, sir?" Kolvex's voice became very quiet. "Just walked right out of the human base. No armor. No weapons that we could see. She looked so normal." Zethkar waited for more, but the sergeant had stopped talking. "What was she carrying? A container, sir, about this big?" Kolvex held his hands about a foot apart, made of some kind of metal. Had small holes in the top. What was inside it? Kolvex skin turned even more gray. "We don't know, sir. But when she opened it slightly and looked inside, she smiled. Then she made soft sounds to whatever was in there." "Soft sounds?" "Like she was talking to a baby, sir. Very gentle. Very loving." Zethkar felt confused. "I don't understand." "Why? Did this make you retreat?" Kolvex looked at his commander with wide, frightened eyes. "Sir, you have to understand. This human female walked into an active battle zone. Plasma bolts were flying everywhere. Explosions were going off all around her, and she was completely calm. She acted like she was walking through a peaceful garden. Perhaps. She was brave." "No, sir, you don't understand." Kolvex's voice became desperate. "She wasn't brave. Brave means you're scared, but you do something anyway. This human wasn't scared at all. She looked happy." Zethkar felt a chill run down his spine. In all his years of war, he had learned that the most dangerous enemies were the ones who felt no fear. "She kept making those soft sounds to whatever was in the container," Kolvex continued, "like she was taking care of something precious." "Right. In the middle of a battlefield." "Sir, what kind of creature stays calm in combat while protecting something they love?" "A predator protecting its young," Vexton said quietly. Both Zethkar and Kolvex looked at the captain. Vexton's face had gone pale. "Think about it," Vexton said. "Only apex predators can stay completely calm when threatened. Only the most dangerous hunters can protect their young while surrounded by enemies." Kolvex nodded frantically. "That's exactly what Lieutenant Hexstar said right before he ordered the retreat. He said any creature that calm in battle must be the most dangerous thing on the battlefield." Zethkar sat back down in his chair. "What happened after you retreated?" The humans let us go, sir. They didn't chase us. They didn't attack. The female just watched us leave. Still making those soft sounds to whatever was in her container. Did you see what was inside? No, sir, but I heard it. Heard it? Kovacs shivered. It made a sound, sir. A deep, rumbling sound. Like a predator's warning growl, but different. Almost like it was happy. Zethkar felt his blood go cold. A creature that growled with happiness? What kind of monster did humans keep as companions? Sir, Kovacs said, I've been checking the other reports. This same human female has appeared at 17 different battles. Every single time our forces retreated? And sir, every single time our soldiers didn't retreat fast enough, What happened to them? They disappeared, sir. No bodies, no evidence of weapons being used. They just dashed. The room fell silent. Zethkar could hear his own heart beating in his chest. In 300 years of warfare, he had never encountered anything like this. Sir, Vexton said slowly, I think we need to consider the possibility that humans have developed a new type of weapon. Something we've never seen before. What kind of weapon? A biological one, something they carry in containers. Something that responds to their voice and eliminates enemies without leaving traces. Zethkar stood up and walked to his communication console. Get me high command. We need to report this immediately. As he waited for the connection, he looked back at Kovacs. Sergeant, in your professional opinion, what should our response be if we encounter this human female again? Kovacs didn't hesitate. Run, sir. Run as fast as possible and don't look back. The communication console beeped, indicating a connection to high command. Zethkar took a deep breath and prepared to make the most unusual report of his military. Career. High command. This is Commander Zethkar. I need to request immediate implementation of a new battlefield protocol. Any unit that spots a human female carrying a container should immediately retreat to a safe distance of no less than 50 kilometers. The voice from High Command sounded confused. Commander, please explain the nature of this threat. Zethkar looked at Kovacs, who was still shaking. Sir, we believe the humans have weaponized something that makes our bravest soldiers flee in terror. We don't know what it is, but we know it works. And you're requesting a retreat protocol based on one engagement? No, sir, based on 47 engagements across 12 star systems. Every single one resulted in our forces retreating when they encountered this particular human. There was a long silence from High Command. Finally, the voice returned, much more serious. Commander, are you telling me that one human female has single-handedly caused 47 military retreats? Yes, sir. And you have no idea what weapon she's carrying? No, sir, but whatever it is, it's the most effective psychological weapon we've ever encountered. Another long pause. Protocol approved, Commander. We'll issue the order fleet-wide. Cody name, Omega-7. The communication ended. Zethkar sat back down and looked at his officers. Well, gentlemen, we've just created the first retreat protocol in Zalathi military history based on one unarmed human female. Sir, Kovacs said quietly, I don't think she's unarmed. I think she's carrying the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. What makes you so sure? Because, sir, no creature that calm in battle could be anything but the ultimate predator. 3 weeks after Protocol Omega-7 went into effect, Commander Zethkar found himself doing something he never thought he would do. He was studying humans like they were dangerous animals in a zoo. His office walls were now covered with pictures, charts, and data screens. All of them showed information about one person, the human female who had caused 47 military retreats. Intelligence had finally identified her. Her name is Dr. Sarah Chun, reported Lieutenant Yaxmel, reading from a datapad. Age 34. Standard years. Born on Earth, she works as something called a xenobiologist. What does that mean? Zethkar asked. She studies alien life forms, sir. According to human records, she specializes in understanding how different species interact with each other. Zethkar felt a chill. A human who studied alien behavior was now making aliens run away in fear. What else do we know about her? She has no military training, sir, no combat experience. No weapons permits. She has never even owned a gun. That cannot be right. I checked the records 3 times, sir. According to every database we can access, Dr. Sarah Chun is completely harmless. She spends most of her time in laboratories studying small creatures. Zethkar stood up and walked to the largest screen on his wall. It showed a map of the galaxy with red dots marking every location where Dr. Chun had appeared. The dots formed a pattern across 12 star systems. "Show me the timeline again," he ordered. The screen changed to show dates and locations. Dr. Chun had appeared at the first battle 6 months ago. Since then, she had shown up at 47 different conflicts. Each time, Zalathi forces had retreated. Each time, human casualties had been much lower than expected. "Sir," Yaxmel said quietly, "there's something else. The human military doesn't seem to know what she's doing either." "What do you mean?" "I intercepted several human communications. Their commanders are just as confused as we are. They keep asking Dr. Chun why she keeps showing up at battlefields. She always gives the same answer, which is, she says she's conducting field research." Zethkar felt his head start to hurt. "Field research? In the middle of active combat zones?" "Yes, sir. And there's more. The humans have tried to stop her from going to battle sites. They've assigned guards to watch her. They've tried to keep her on secure bases. But she keeps escaping? Not escaping, sir. She just walks past the guards. The humans say she's very polite about it. She tells them she has work to do, and then she leaves." Zethkar sat back down. Nothing about this made sense. "Show me the security footage from the Proxima base incident." The screen changed to show a video feed from a human military base. The image was black and white, but clear enough to see details. Dr. Chun walked up to the main gate carrying her. Mysterious container. 2 human guards stepped in front of her. "Turn up the audio," Zethkar ordered. The sounds became louder. He could hear Dr. Chun talking to the guards. Her voice was calm and friendly. "I'm sorry, but I really need to get to the research site," she said. "There's some very interesting behavioral data I need to collect." "Ma'am, there's an active battle happening out there," one guard replied. "It's not safe." "Oh, I'll be fine," Dr. Chun said with a smile. "I have Mr. Whiskers with me." "Mr. Whiskers?" Dr. Chun held up the container slightly. "My research partner. He's very good at helping me stay calm in stressful situations." The guards looked at each other. One of them spoke into his radio. "Command. Dr. Chin is here again. She wants to go to the battle zone." A voice crackled back through the radio. "Orders are to let her through. High Command says we're not allowed to stop her anymore." The guards stepped aside. Dr. Chun thanked them politely and walked past. As she moved away from the camera, they could hear her talking softly to whatever was in the container. "See, Mr. Whiskers? I told you they'd let us through. These humans are getting used to our research methods." The video ended. Zethkar stared at the blank screen. "Did she just say that humans are getting used to her methods?" "Yes, sir." "And there's more footage from the actual battle." The screen showed a new video. This one was taken from a Zalathi soldier's helmet camera during the fighting. Plasma bolts flew through the air. Explosions lit up the landscape. In the middle of all this chaos, Dr. Chun walked calmly toward the Zalathi positions. She moved slowly, stopping every few steps to look around like she was taking notes. The container in her hands never moved. She held it steady and secure like it contained something very precious. "Watch what happens when she gets closer to our troops," Yaxmel said on the screen. Zalathi soldiers began to notice Dr. Chun approaching. Their weapons stayed pointed at the human positions, but their heads turned to watch her. Even through the video, Zethkar could see their body language change. They became nervous. Dr. Chun stopped about 50 meters away from the Zalathi line. She sat down on a rock and opened her container just a crack. She peered inside and began making those same soft sounds they had heard about in other reports. "Can you enhance the audio?" Zethkar asked. The computer filtered the sound. Dr. Chun's voice became clearer. "It's okay, sweetie," she was saying. "I know all the noise is scary, but this is important research. Look at how the different species position themselves for combat. Very interesting territorial behaviors. The camera showed Zalathi soldiers looking at each other with growing alarm. One of them, a sergeant, spoke into his radio. "Command, the human female is here again. She's talking to something in that container." "What's she saying?" "She's discussing our combat formations like we're animals in a zoo." There was a pause, then the radio crackled back. "All units, implement Protocol Omega-7. Begin immediate tactical withdrawal." The soldiers began moving backward, but they kept their eyes on Dr. Chun. She seemed to notice them retreating and waved in a friendly way. "Oh, you're leaving already?" she called out. "That's okay. I got some good behavioral observations. Thank you for being such good research subjects." The video ended as the soldier wearing the camera ran away. Zethkar felt sick. She thanked them for being research subjects. "Yes, sir?" "And sir, there's something else you need to see." "What now?" "We managed to intercept a personal message Dr. Chun sent to a colleague on Earth." A new document appeared on the screen. It was a text message written in human standard language. "Dear Professor Martinez," it read, "my field research is going very well. The Zalathi show fascinating retreat behaviors when confronted with unfamiliar stimuli. They seem to have excellent survival instincts, much better than the Zeraxian species we studied last year. I think Mr. Whiskers is helping me collect better data than usual. The subjects seem very aware of his presence, even though he stays quiet during observations. I should be able to publish a paper on xenophobic responses in militaristic cultures within a few months. Best regards, Sarah." Zethkar read the message twice. "She's studying us?" "It appears so, sir. And she plans to publish a research paper about our retreat behaviors?" "Yes, sir." Zethkar stood up and began pacing around his office. "Let me understand this correctly. A human scientist with no military training is walking into active combat zones to study how we react when we see her. And we keep running away, which gives her more data for her research." "That appears to be correct, sir." "And the thing in the container, this Mr. Whiskers is helping her somehow?" "Yes, sir. Every report mentions that our soldiers are very aware of whatever is in that container." Zethkar stopped pacing. "I want you to find out everything you can about Earth animals. Specifically, I want to know what humans keep as companions." "Sir?" "If Dr. Chun calls this thing Mr. Whiskers and refers to it as her research partner, then it must be some kind of Earth creature. I want to know what we're really dealing with." Yaxmel nodded and began typing on his datapad. "Sir, I'll contact our intelligence sources immediately. But may I ask why you think this is important?" Zethkar looked at the map showing all the red dots where Dr. Chun had appeared. "Because, Lieutenant, I have a feeling that once we find out what Mr. Whiskers really is, we're going to understand why our entire military runs away from one small human female." "You think it's dangerous?" "I think," Zethkar said slowly, "that we're about to learn something about humans that we really don't want to know." Commander Zethkar had been studying Earth animals for 2 weeks. What he learned made him sleep poorly at night. The research files spread across his desk showed creatures that should not exist. Earth was apparently home to animals that could kill with poison, tear apart steel with their claws, and hunt in coordinated packs. The files described something called a grizzly bear that could weigh 800 pounds and run faster than most vehicles. There were pictures of creatures called sharks that had rows of razor-sharp teeth and could smell blood from miles away. But the most disturbing thing was not the dangerous animals. It was the fact that humans lived with many of these creatures by choice. The files showed humans swimming with sharks, keeping poisonous snakes in glass boxes, and even sleeping next to giant predators they called pets. "Sir," Lieutenant Yaxmel said, entering the office with more reports, "we've received intelligence about Dr. Chin's current location." Zethkar looked up from a file about something called a honey badger that apparently feared nothing in the universe. "Where is she?" "Proxima 7, sir. There's currently a battle happening there between our forces and a human colony. According to our scouts, she arrived 3 hours ago." Zethkar stood up quickly. "And our forces?" They implemented Protocol Omega-7 as soon as she was spotted. They're currently maintaining a safe distance of 60 kilometers. 60 kilometers? The protocol calls for 50. Yes, sir, but Captain Mordex said he wanted to be extra careful, especially after reading the intelligence report about Earth animals. Zethkar nodded. The intelligence report had been sent to all unit commanders. It contained pictures and descriptions of Earth's most dangerous creatures. Most Zalathi officers had requested to transfer to different sectors after reading it. Sir, Yxmel continued, Captain Mordex is requesting permission to withdraw completely from the Proxima 7 system. Denied. Zethkar moved to his weapons locker and began putting on his combat armor. Prepare a stealth transport. I'm going to Proxima 7 myself. Sir, with respect, that might not be wise. I need to see this Dr. Chun with my own eyes. I need to understand what we're really dealing with. 2 hours later, Zethkar was crouched behind rubble on Proxima 7, watching the human colony through high-powered binoculars. The battle had stopped completely when Dr. Chun arrived. Both sides seemed to be waiting to see what would happen next. Through his binoculars, he could see her clearly for the first time. She was smaller than he had expected. Her hair was brown and tied back in a simple way. She wore plain clothes with no armor or weapons visible. The container in her hands looked like an ordinary carrying case. Dr. Chun was sitting on the ground, next to several wounded human soldiers. She had opened a medical kit and was treating their injuries. The container sat beside her, still closed. She looks so normal, whispered Sergeant Kovacs, who had insisted on coming along despite his obvious fear. That's what makes her so dangerous, Zethkar replied. Any creature that looks harmless, but makes entire armies run away must be hiding something terrible. They watched as Dr. Chun finished bandaging a soldier's arm. She said something that made the wounded human smile. Then she picked up her container and stood up. Sir, Kovacs said urgently, she's moving. Dr. Chen began walking toward the Zalathi positions. Even from a distance of several kilometers, Zethkar felt his heart rate increase. She moved with that same calm confidence they had seen in all the videos. We should leave, Kovacs said. Not yet. I need to understand what makes her so effective. Dr. Chun stopped about halfway between the human and Zalathi lines. She sat down on a large rock and placed the container carefully beside her. Then she took out a small device and began speaking into it. Can you enhance the audio pickup? Zethkar asked his communications specialist. Yes, sir, but we'll have to get closer. Do it. They moved carefully through the ruins until they were about 500 meters away from Dr. Chun. The audio pickup was now strong enough to hear her voice clearly. Day 14 of the Proxima 7 observation, she was saying into her device. Both species have established clear territorial boundaries. The Zalathi show excellent strategic withdrawal behaviors when faced with unknown variables. This suggests high intelligence and strong survival instincts. She's making a research log, Zethkar said quietly. The human military continues to show protective behaviors toward their wounded, Dr. Chun continued. Very interesting social structures. Both species demonstrate clear pack loyalty. She reached over and gently patted the top of her container. What do you think, Mr. Whiskers? Should we try to get some closer behavioral observations? The container made a sound. It was soft and low, like a rumbling vibration. But there was something about it that made Zethkar's skin crawl. It sounded almost like a purr, but deeper and more powerful than any sound a small creature should make. I know you're tired, sweetie, Dr. Chun said to the container. But this is really important research. These Zalathi are showing some fascinating retreat patterns. Much more complex than the Zaraxian responses we studied last year. The container made the sound again. This time it was longer and more pronounced. Sir, Kovacs whispered, we need to leave now. But Zethkar was too fascinated to move. She's talking to it like it understands her. That's what makes it so terrifying. Dr. Chen stood up and picked up her container. Okay, Mr. Whiskers, let's see if we can get some better data points. She began walking directly toward the hidden Zalathi positions. Zethkar felt panic rising in his chest. She's coming this way. Orders, sir, Zethkar thought quickly. This was his chance to finally understand what made Dr. Chun so dangerous. But every instinct he had was screaming at him to run. "We hold position," he decided. "I want to see what happens when she gets close." Dr. Chun continued walking toward them. As she got closer, Zethkar could see more details about her. She looked completely relaxed. Her breathing was steady. Her movements were confident and purposeful. She showed no signs of fear or stress. The container in her hands remained perfectly still. Whatever was inside it was not moving around or trying to escape. It seemed content to be carried. When she was about 50 meters away, Dr. Chun stopped. She looked around the area carefully as if she knew someone was watching her. "Hello," she called out in a friendly voice. "I know you're there. I can see the heat signatures from your equipment." Zethkar felt his blood freeze. She had detected them despite their advanced stealth technology. "I'm not going to hurt you," Dr. Chun continued. "I'm just here to collect some behavioral data. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?" The Zelathi soldiers looked at each other in alarm. No human had ever been this casual during a combat situation. "Sir," Kovacs whispered urgently, "she wants to talk to us." "I can hear that. She's treating us like test subjects again." Dr. Chen took a few steps closer. "I understand you might be nervous. Many species show anxiety when encountering unfamiliar research situations, but I promise this won't take long." She held up her container slightly. "Mr. Whiskers is very good at helping subjects feel more comfortable. He has a very calming presence." The container made that rumbling sound again. This time it was loud enough that all the hidden soldiers could hear it clearly. The sound seemed to vibrate through the ground itself. Sergeant Kovacs started shaking. "Sir, that's not a normal animal sound." "What do you mean? Listen to it." "That's the sound a predator makes when it's content, when it's well-fed and comfortable." "What kind of creature makes that sound while being carried into a battle zone?" Zethkar listened more carefully. Kovacs was right. The sound was too confident, too relaxed. It was the sound of a creature that had no fear of anything around it. "I'm going to open the container now," Dr. Chun announced. "Please don't be alarmed. Mr. Whiskers is very friendly." Her hands moved to the latches on the container. "Sir," Kovacs said desperately, "we need to implement Protocol Omega-7 right now." Zethkar watched as Dr. Chun's fingers touched the first latch. Every instinct in his body was telling him to run. But he had to know. He had to understand. What could make an entire military force retreat from one small human female? "Hold position," he ordered, though his own voice was shaking. Dr. Chun smiled and opened the first latch. The rumbling sound got louder. "That's it, sweetie," she said gently. "I know you want to see what's happening out here." She opened the second latch. The container began to vibrate slightly. "Sir," Kovacs pleaded, "please, whatever's in there, we don't want to see it." But it was too late. Dr. Chun had opened the third and final latch. She lifted the lid of the container slowly and carefully. "Come on out, Mr. Whiskers," she said softly. "Time to help Mommy with her research." Zethkar raised his binoculars and focused on the container. He had to see what had caused 47 military retreats. He had to understand what kind of weapon the humans had developed. What he saw made his world change forever. Inside the container, looking up at Dr. Chun with large, round eyes, was a small furry creature with pointed ears and a long tail. It had black and white markings and looked completely harmless. But as Zethkar watched in horror, the creature opened its mouth and made that rumbling sound again. This time, he could see exactly what was making the noise. The creature was purring, but its mouth was full of sharp, white teeth that... Commander Zethkar could not stop staring at the small creature in Dr. Chun's hands. Mr. Whiskers sat calmly in the container, looking around with those large, predatory eyes. The rumbling sound continued as the creature seemed to enjoy the attention. "Sir," Sergeant Kovacs whispered, his voice full of terror. "That's what humans call a pet." "A pet?" Zethkar managed to say. "According to our research files, humans keep these creatures in their homes for companionship." Zethkar felt his mind struggling to process this information. They live with predators? "Not just live with them, sir, they sleep in the same beds." They let them sit on their furniture, they feed them by hand. Dr. Chun had lifted Mr. Whiskers out of the container completely now. The creature was about the size of a small Zalathi child, with 4 legs and a long tail that moved back and forth in a hypnotic pattern. Its fur was soft-looking, but Zethkar could see the muscles underneath. This was clearly a hunting animal. "Look. At its claws," Kolvex pointed out. Zethkar looked more carefully. As Mr. Whiskers stretched in Dr. Chun's arms, sharp claws extended from its paws. They were curved and looked like they could tear through flesh easily. The creature retracted them again, but the message was clear. This thing was designed for killing. "Hello there, handsome," Dr. Chun said to Mr. Whiskers. "Are you ready to help me with some research?" The creature made a different sound now. It was higher pitched, but still had that rumbling quality. It sounded almost like it was talking back to her. I know, Dr. Chun replied, as if she understood what the creature had said. "These Zalathi are very interesting, aren't they? Look how they hide behind cover, such smart, tactical thinking." Mr. Whiskers turned his head to look directly at the rocks where Zethkar and his soldiers were hiding. The creature's eyes focused on their position with frightening accuracy. "Sir," Kolvex breathed, "it knows we're here." The creature continued staring at them for several long seconds. Then it made another sound, longer and more complex. It almost sounded like it was giving Dr. Chun information. "You're right, sweetie," Dr. Chun said. "There are definitely several. Heat signatures over there, probably 5 or 6 individuals." Good spotting. Zethkar felt ice-cold fear wash over him. The creature was helping Dr. Chun locate hidden soldiers. It was acting as her scout and tactical advisor. "What kind of monster can detect hidden enemies from that distance?" he whispered, but Kolvex was not listening. He was frantically typing on his datapad. "Sir, I'm checking the Earth Animal Database for more information about this species." "What does it say?" "According to the files, these creatures are called cats. They're one of the most common human pets. Humans have been living with them for thousands of years." "Thousands of years? Yes, sir, and listen to this. The files say cats are natural-born killers. They hunt for fun, even when they're not hungry. They can see in almost complete darkness. They can hear sounds that humans cannot detect. They can move completely silently when they want to." Zethkar stared at Mr. Whiskers with growing horror. "And humans keep these things as companions?" "Sir, it gets worse. The files say humans consider cats to be cute and cuddly. They think cats are relaxing to be around." "Relaxing? Yes, sir. Humans apparently find the rumbling sound soothing. They call it purring. It helps humans sleep better." Zethkar watched as Mr. Whiskers settled more comfortably in Dr. Chun's arms, still purring loudly. The sound that was making every Zalathi soldier want to run away was something humans used as a sleep aid. "Sir," Kolvex continued reading, "there's more. Cats are ambush predators. They prefer to hide and wait for their prey to come close. Then they attack with speed and precision. Like we're doing right now," Zethkar realized with growing panic. "Exactly, sir. We're hiding behind cover, watching a predator and its human companion. From the cat's perspective, we might look like prey animals preparing to attack." Dr. Chun stood up, still holding Mr. Whiskers. "I think it's time we introduced ourselves properly," she called out toward their hiding spot. "Mr. Whiskers says, you've been watching us for quite a while now." She began walking toward the rocks where they were hidden. "Sir," Kolvex said urgently, "we need to retreat immediately." "Why?" "Because, sir, if that creature considers us a threat to its human companion, it might decide to hunt us." Zethkar looked at the datapad screen. There was a picture of a cat, catching what the file called a mouse. The cat had moved so fast that the image was blurred. The mouse had no chance to escape. "How fast can they move?" he asked. "According to this, cats can accelerate faster than most vehicles. They can change direction instantly. And sir, their hunting success rate is over 90%. 90%? When a cat decides to hunt something, that thing usually dies." Dr. Chun was now only 20 meters away. Mr. Whiskers was looking directly at them with those large, unblinking eyes. The creature seemed completely relaxed, but Zethkar could see the way its muscles were positioned. It was ready to move instantly if needed. "Hello," Dr. Chun said in her friendly voice. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chun, and this is Mr. Whiskers. We're conducting some research on interspecies territorial behaviors." She stopped about 10 meters away from their position. "Would you mind if we observed your group dynamics for a few minutes? It would be very helpful for our study." Mr. Whiskers made another sound. This time it was shorter and sharper. "Oh, you're right," Dr. Chun said to the cat. "I should probably explain why Mr. Whiskers is here. Some species find cats intimidating when they first meet them." She held the cat up slightly so they could see him better. "Mr. Whiskers is what humans call a companion animal. He lives with me and helps me with my work. Cats are very good at reading the emotional states of other creatures. That's why I bring him to research sites." Zethkar felt his understanding of the universe shift completely. Dr. Chun was not carrying a weapon. She was carrying a pet that helped her do her job better. But that pet happened to be a perfect killing machine that humans treated like a cuddly toy. "Sir," Kovacs whispered, "I found more information about cats." "What now?" "They don't just hunt small animals. According to these files, cats on Earth regularly hunt creatures much larger than themselves. There are records of house cats killing animals weighing over 100 pounds. That's impossible. Mr. Whiskers only weighs maybe 10 pounds. That's what makes it so terrifying, sir. Cats don't hunt with size or strength. They hunt with speed, intelligence, and surgical precision. They know exactly where to bite to cause maximum damage." Dr. Cheen noticed their hesitation and smiled reassuringly. "I understand you might be nervous." Many species have that reaction when they first meet cats, but Mr. Whiskers is very gentle. He only hunts when he needs to protect himself or his family. The word family made Zethkar's blood freeze. To Mr. Whiskers, Dr. Chun was family. That meant the cat would kill anyone who threatened her. "And I've become very good at reading Mr. Whiskers' body language," Dr. Chun continued. "Right now, he's telling me that you're all very stressed. Elevated heart rates, increased respiration, probably some perspiration. Classic signs of anxiety." She looked down at the cat with affection. "He's quite good at detecting these things. Cats have much better senses than humans do." Mr. Whiskers made another rumbling sound and rubbed his head against Dr. Chun's arm. "You're such a good helper," she told him. "Always keeping Mommy safe during field work." Zethkar realized with crystal clarity why Protocol Omega-7 existed. It was not because Dr. Chun was dangerous. It was because she walked into battle zones completely unafraid, carrying a creature that could kill any of them in seconds if it decided they were a threat to its human. "Sir," Kovacs said, his voice barely audible, "now I understand why humans are so calm in combat situations." "What do you mean?" "They're not brave, sir. They don't have to be brave. They live with predators that are perfectly designed for killing. Every day of their lives, they share their homes with creatures that could end them instantly." Zethkar stared at Dr. Chun, who was still talking softly to Mr. Whiskers about their research subjects. "Any species that can sleep peacefully next to a perfect predator," Kovacs continued. "Any species that can treat a killing machine like a beloved family member is not operating on the same level of fear as the rest of us. They've domesticated their own nightmares," Zethkar whispered, "and they call it normal." Dr. Chun looked up from her conversation with Mr. Whiskers. "Well, I think we've collected enough behavioral data for today. Mr. Whiskers says your stress levels are getting dangerously high, and we don't want anyone to have a panic attack." She put the cat back in his container, but left the lid open so he could continue looking around. "Thank you for being such excellent research subjects," she said with a genuine smile. "Your retreat behaviors are some of the most sophisticated we've ever documented." As she walked away, still talking softly to Mr. Whiskers about their observations, Zethkar finally understood the truth about humans and their pets. It was not that humans were fearless. It was that they had learned to live comfortably with fear itself. 6 months after the encounter on Proxima 7, Commander Zethkar stood in the Galactic Council chambers. Representatives from 47 different species sat in curved rows, all listening to his report. The chamber was unusually quiet, and that is why, Zethkar concluded, we recommend immediate implementation of the Terran Companion Protocol across all military operations. The Zoraxian delegate raised a tentacle. Commander, you are asking us to retreat from humans carrying small animals? Not just any animals, Zethkar replied. Earth animals. Creatures that humans have chosen to live with by choice. This seems extreme, said the Rigelian representative. Surely you are overreacting to one incident. Zethkar pressed a button. On his control panel, the large screen behind him showed a list of numbers. These are the casualty reports from the last 6 months. Any engagement where human companion animals were present resulted in 0 Zalathi casualties. 0? Yes, because we implemented immediate retreat protocols. However, forces that did not retreat in time... Zethkar paused. Well, there were no survivors to file reports. A murmur of concern spread through the chamber. The Centaurian delegate leaned forward. You are saying that small Earth animals are responsible for military victories? Not the animals themselves, Zethkar explained. The psychological effect they have on opposing forces. Any species that keeps predators as family pets demonstrates a level of comfort with danger that is beyond our understanding. He pressed another button. Images of various Earth animals appeared on the screen. These are common human pets. This creature called a dog can track scents across vast distances and has been bred for thousands of years to hunt in coordinated packs with humans. The delegates looked uncomfortable as they studied the pictures of dogs. This animal, called a snake, is kept in human homes, despite being capable of killing with poison or by crushing its prey. Humans handle these creatures with their bare hands. Several delegates made distressed sounds. And this, Zethkar continued, is called a goldfish. Humans keep them in small containers of water as decoration. The Aquarian delegate suddenly sat up straighter. That is a predatory fish species. Correct. Humans keep aquatic hunters in their living spaces and consider them relaxing to watch. But why? Asked the Zoraxian. Why would any species choose to surround themselves with dangerous creatures? Zethkar had been asking himself the same question for months. Our xenopsychology experts believe it is because humans evolved alongside these animals. On Earth, the most dangerous predators became humanity's closest allies. This suggests that humans do not fear these creatures because they understand them completely. He clicked to the next image, which showed Dr. Chun sitting in a garden with Mr. Whiskers on her lap. Both looked peaceful and happy. Dr. Sarah Chun continues her research across the galaxy. She has appeared at 73 different conflict zones in the past 6 months. Every single time, opposing forces have implemented retreat protocols upon seeing her companion animal. Has anyone tried to capture her? Asked the Rigelian. 3 attempts have been made. All 3 resulted in complete loss of the capture. Teams, what happened to them? Zethkar pulled up another file. According to the only surviving witness, Dr. Chun asked Mr. Whiskers if he thought the soldiers looked stressed. The cat apparently agreed that they did. Dr. Chun then suggested that Mr. Whiskers might help them relax. And? The witness said Mr. Whiskers jumped down from Dr. Chun's arms and approached the soldiers in what appeared to be a friendly manner. The soldiers panicked and began shooting. Mr. Whiskers avoided every shot while moving too fast to track visually. The chamber fell silent. The witness said the cat then began what he called playing with the soldiers. Apparently cats enjoy hunting games. The entire capture team was eliminated within 60 seconds. What did Dr. Chun do during this? She continued taking notes on her research pad. When it was over, she thanked Mr. Whiskers for protecting her and gave him something called a treat. Then she walked away. The Centaurian delegate looked pale. She rewarded the creature for killing? In human culture, protecting family members is considered good behavior worthy of rewards. More uncomfortable murmurs filled the chamber. The Galactic Council president stood up. Commander Zethkar, what exactly does this Terran Companion Protocol involve? Zethkar activated a new presentation. Any military unit that detects a human carrying an Earth animal must immediately retreat to a minimum safe distance of 100 kilometers. No exceptions? 100 kilometers seems excessive. Our analysis shows that human companion animals can influence battlefield psychology from great distances. The mere knowledge that such a creature is present causes measurable decreases in combat effectiveness. He clicked to the next slide. Additionally, we have identified several categories of Earth animals that require special protocols. The screen showed pictures and classifications. Category 1, direct predators. These include cats, dogs, and birds of prey. Immediate retreat. Required. Category 2, venomous species. Snakes, spiders, and certain fish. Extended retreat protocols apply. Category 3, large herbivores. Horses, cattle, and similar animals. While not predatory, the fact that humans can control creatures of this size suggests dangerous leadership capabilities. Category 4, aquatic species. Any human carrying water containers with living creatures inside should be treated as carrying an unknown biological weapon. The aquarium delegate raised a fin. Even the small decorative fish? Especially those. Any species that keeps predatory fish as decorations demonstrates a concerning relationship with danger. The screen changed to show a new image. It was Dr. Chun in what appeared to be her home on Earth. She was surrounded by multiple animals. A large dog sat next to her chair. A cat was on her lap. A bird perched on her shoulder. Fish swam in a large tank behind her. This photograph was taken at Dr. Chun's residence, Zethkar explained. She lives with multiple companion animals simultaneously. Our experts believe this is common among humans. The chamber erupted in concerned chatter. Order, called the council president. Commander, are you saying all humans live with dangerous animals? According to our intelligence, approximately 60% of human households contain at least one companion animal. Many contain multiple species. The Rigelian delegate stood up suddenly. This explains everything. No wonder humans are so effective in combat. They are constantly surrounded by predators. Their fear responses have been completely eliminated. Or redirected, added Zethkar. Humans do feel fear, but they have learned to channel it into protective behaviors rather than flight responses. The council president looked around the chamber. All in favor of implementing the Terran Companion Protocol? Every single delegate raised their hand, tentacle, fin, or appendage. Motion carried unanimously. Commander Zethkar, you will oversee the implementation across all member fleets. 3 weeks later, Zethkar was back on Proxima 7, but this time he was not hiding behind rocks. He was sitting at a small table that had been set up in a neutral zone between the human and Zalathi positions. Dr. Chun sat across from him, sipping something called tea. Mr. Whiskers lay contentedly in a patch of sunlight nearby, making that rumbling sound that no longer made Zethkar want to run away. He was still nervous around the cat, but he was learning to manage his fear. So you see, Dr. Chun was saying, the retreat behaviors your species displays are actually quite sophisticated. Much more complex than simple fear responses. You have been studying us this entire time, Zethkar said. Oh, yes. The Zalathi show some of the most interesting tactical thinking I've ever observed. Your ability to assess threats and respond appropriately is remarkable. We were not responding to threats. We were responding to Mr. Whiskers. Dr. Chun looked down at the cat with fondness. He is pretty impressive, isn't he? Cats are wonderful research partners. They're very good at reading emotional states in other species. Why do humans keep such creatures as pets? Dr. Chun considered the question carefully. I think it's because we understand each other. Humans and cats have lived together for thousands of years. We've learned to communicate, to trust each other, to take care of each other, but he is a predator. So are we, Dr. Chun said simply. Humans are predators too. Maybe that's why we get along so well with other predators. We understand how to be dangerous and gentle at the same time. Mr. Whiskers opened one eye and looked at Zethkar. The cat made a soft sound, almost like a question. He wants to know if you'd like to pet him, Dr. Chun translated. Zethkar stared at the cat. 6 months ago, seeing this creature would have made him call for immediate evacuation. Now Dr. Chun was suggesting he touch it voluntarily. Is it safe? Mr. Whiskers is very gentle with new friends. Just move slowly and let him sniff your hand first. Very carefully, Zethkar extended his hand toward the cat. Mr. Whiskers lifted his head and sniffed delicately at the alien's fingers. Then, to Zethkar's amazement, the cat rubbed against his hand and began purring louder. He likes you, Dr. Chun said with a smile. Zethkar felt the soft fur and the vibration of the purring. It was actually quite pleasant. This is the creature that made my entire military flee in terror? Fear often comes from not understanding something, Dr. Chun said.